書庫で検索するか。先にあれだな、スコットランドヤードに行ってお兄さんに会わないとな。よし、じゃあウィギンズ会ってくるよ。
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
はい、じゃあまずその持ってたもの、所持品をはい、レイトンの所持品。レイトンの拳銃。
So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon.
弾倉。
It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
へえ。中心弾薬2発使ってるってことなのかなこれ。
Two out of the 6 shells have been fired. There
同
were
じ
2
銃で
shots.
2発。あ、それは当然か。ちょっと待ってね。ああ、そうか。異なる銃声って言ってたから、ちょっと待ってね。まずじゃあ、回転式拳銃、2個の薬莢を所持していた、レイトンはね。だけど、異なる銃声聞いたんだ。2度目の銃声は最初のより大きかった。同時の発砲。はは。実際は3発発砲されたが、ターナーには2つの異なる銃声音として聞こえた。最初に1発発砲され、その後すぐに2発の銃弾がほぼ同時に発射された。なるほど。これは調べなきゃいけないんだね。選べた？選べない？選べるな。はい。でだ。
These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
時計。
A cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt.
はい、じゃあ、レイトンに話を聞きに行きましょう。どうも、レイトン。
Please escort this suspect
弟さん
for
にはお世話になってお
interrogation.
ります。
Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
じゃあ、聞かせてください。
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare,
あ、もう倒れてた
I
ん
saw
だ。
two men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person.
3人
He
目の
was leaning over the
男。
body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head, and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead, and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
戻る時間があった。
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
3人目の後を追いました。どうか続けてください。
Interesting. Pray continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash.
フラッ
It was
シ
so
ュ。
bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward.
女性
As I arrived in
あー
Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man.
3人目の男。
Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark. And he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket.
体重
He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps... It's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
何を言ってるんだ。深い傷跡、喧嘩をする路上育ち。まあね。つい最近殴られた。ああ。逮捕に抵抗した。シャレた入り巻き、楽な仕事、事務員。あ、ウエストゲート、犯罪を犯した。なぜ後を追ったのか。
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
まあ今の流れではこのウエストゲートの話かな。
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
もともと被害者と知り合いだった。
You're right, Mr. Holmes.
ブライアン・バーコッティ。
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery.
強盗か。
Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
また後で。なるほどな。古い知人とつながるものはあるかな。違うな。個人的な動機。レイトン・チャップマンがハーフムーン通りで犯した暴力犯罪には何か個人的な動機があった。いや、なんかやったんか？これはやってないんじゃないの？はい、レイトン・チャップマンはウィギンズの兄で、今20代、路上で育ち、向こう水な若者。以前罪を犯してウェストゲート監獄で服役したことがある。現在は過去の路上生活は断ち切り、どこかで事務員として働いているようだ。ちょっと待ってね。見たわよね。はい。じゃあ、この骨董の腕飾りを書庫で検索するをやりましょう。あ、手紙来てますね。植物は殺害凶器になる。大事件、異国風殺人。有毒植物が現代凶器の種類に追加されるかもしれない。若き美しい女性が旧植物園の同僚と共同して園長のモンタギュー男子殺害を企てた。単なる心臓発作で処理された悲劇の事故の裏に隠された真実。それを明らかにすることができたのはたった一人の探偵だった。その探偵の名はシャーロック・ホームズだ。手紙ってか新聞だったね。はい。じゃあ、腕飾り探します。どうやって探すんだろうな。あったあったあった。これらの美しい骨董宝飾品はヘレニズムの宝が所蔵する代表作の一部である。腕飾り、首飾り、そして指輪には5個の大角羊の頭が描かれている。宝石はどれも純金製。ミティリーニの5頭の羊は1885年に行方不明になっている。
Here it is. I need to continue my research in my archives.
1885年。ヘレニズムの宝が盗まれた。大胆な泥棒。昨晩ヘレニズムの芸術作品が大英博物館からグラスファード美術展覧会への輸送中に盗まれた。宝を乗せた辻馬車が襲われたのである。チャーチ通りにある質屋の主人、ケネス・バトラーがその日、歴史的芸術作品の一組を彼の店で売ろうとしていた男がいたとスコットランドヤードに情報を提供した。 警察は彼から得た犯人像の男を捕らえた。ヴィンセント・フォーリーという名の窃盗常習犯で、ロンドン港から脱出を試みようとしていたところだった。ヘレニズムの芸術作品を輸送した辻馬車の運転手がこの男を確認した。ヴィンセント・フォーリーは残りの作品の隠し場所を白状しなかった。最終的に強盗罪で投獄された。失われた宝はまだ見つかっていない。はい、ケネス・バトラー？被害者ね。
One of the victims, Kenneth Butler,
彼の質屋を訪問すれば何か情報が得られるかもしれない。
A visit to his pawn shop should tell me more.
はい、じゃあこの流れでいきますか。質屋5。もしなんか音楽が聴ける、聞こえる。どこだ質屋は。あ、バトラー。ああ、ここの鍵なんだ。
Mr. Butler's key matches the lock perfectly.
じゃあ何が見つかるのか。ちょっと待ってよ。棚調べる。登山用具。
Crampons and a sharp ice axe would only be brought here by a mountaineer.
あ、これはもう終わりかい。はい。感情台の天板開ける。時計、時計、時計。ん？あ、信号拳銃。
A flare pistol. Perhaps it was pawned by a destitute sailor.
ああ、光？レイトンが言った光っていうのはこれなのか。なんか今はまだ早いかな。ここに。感情台。おっと？羊の頭。
The ram's heads. This necklace belongs to the 5 rams of Mittelin collection. Interesting. That means that Kenneth Butler owned a part of this collection all this time, 10 years after the theft.
ブライアン・ブーコッティの手紙。やあ、ケネス、いつか俺に古代ギリシャのもので、羊の頭がついた金の宝石3点について話してくれたよな。まだ持ってるんだろ？いい知らせがあるぜ。その宝石をどうしても欲しいっていう金持ちの男を見つけたんだ。いつでも大金を払えるんだとよ。あんたとこの男との面会を手配してもいい。だが俺にも取引の分け前を払ってほしい。日曜の夜、花火が始まる前に、グレートアリーとハーフムーン通りが交差する場所で待っている。ブライアン・ブーコッティ。はい。消息不明の芸術品、バトラーの宝石。あ、違うのか？あ、じゃあこれはまだ何とも繋がらない。 ぽいね。強盗が動機。
It looks as though Mr. Butler kept a careful record of his operations.
終わりか。